answering your questions about retirement. It's Money Talk with Michael Eastham.
I bought a variable life policy several years ago, hoping it would grow in cash value, but it has lost value and we keep having to put money in. Was this a mistake? We had planned to use this to supplement our income in retirement, and now we are concerned.
Well, this is a little bit of a tricky question because variable life insurance policies can be kind of tricky sometimes. You just never know when they're going to work and when they're not. Sometimes they turn out to be a great tool. Sometimes they implode. So that's a tough question to answer for you. However, one of the things that a lot of people do when they get into variable universal life policies is they anticipate that the illustration that was provided by the advisor is what's going to happen. They take it as gospel, financial gospel, if you will. And that's not always the case, as you've experienced a bit, right? Ideally, these types of tools, when you continue to put money into them over the years, and they use something called a sub-account, which is equivalent to a mutual fund, and they invest the money that you put in. Well, if the money that you put in goes up in value, then it can work out very, very well. However, there are a couple of headwinds. You don't need me to tell you that over a 10 or 15 year period of time, the market's not always going to go up, right? And the market doesn't go up in a linear fashion. So that could be a headwind depending on when you need that money. The other very important headwind has to do with fees. Inside these variable universal life insurance contracts, the insurance company is going to take something called mortality and expense charges. They might add rider fees on top of it. And of course, all of those sub-accounts are going to have fees inside of them as well. So it's not unusual to see fees inside of a variable policy of 3% or 4%. And that is a serious headwind against your growth. Now, the downside for you is that it's a headwind. The upside for the insurance company is they get their money every single year. So if you're going to use an insurance policy, you've got to make sure it's done the right way. Number one, that the sales guy understands the policies very, very well, and that you understand the place that it holds in your overall financial plan. But as I said, they can be very, very tricky. To give you specific advice, we'd have to look at the contract. We'd have to talk to the insurance company, and I'm happy to do that for you just so that you have peace of mind and also good information about what your next steps should be, whether you hold on to that policy because maybe it's going to recover and provide you some of the cash flow or the income that you needed, or maybe it's time to reposition those funds elsewhere. You need to understand the consequences of both of those options, and we'd be happy to help you think it through so that you can make a good, solid, informed decision. Thanks so much for that question.
If you've got a financial question you'd like to have answered, click on the link below to submit your question. You may hear your answer on an upcoming edition of Money Talk.